So, y'all, yesterday evening, Alexander Usyk defeated Anthony Joshua once again in a rematch to retain his WBO, IBF, and WBA heavyweight titles in a split decision victory. Alexander Usyk won the fight fair and square. Although I will say Anthony Joshua made a valiant effort. He had a valiant effort. He gave it his all that he could, but it simply wasn't enough to beat the Ukrainian. So the thing was this: after the fight was announced, Anthony Joshua proceeded to have a meltdown of epic proportions. Like a meltdown that we haven't seen from him before. It wasn't the worst meltdown that I've ever seen. The public has just never been accustomed to seeing Anthony Joshua like this before. In fact, he's been criticized for taking his losses way too well. Like when he lost to Andy Ruiz, shaking his hand, lifting Andy Ruiz's hand in the air, and how he seemed that people thought he was smiling too much after he lost to Andy Ruiz. So on and so forth, calling him, oh my God, he's an embarrassment, this, that, and the third. So now we see the opposite end of the spectrum. Anthony Joshua was livid. He grabbed the microphone after the fight, and he was draped in the Ukrainian flag. He telling Usyk, wait, I'm talking. And he's saying it forcefully, like he going on a rant talking about how he didn't grow up to be a boxer. Boxing wasn't in his life as a youth. He only took up boxing after he went to jail, and then after he came out of jail, he came and became a champion. He took up boxing, he became a champion, so on and so forth, and rose to prominence and all of that. And I promise y'all, when I was watching this, it seemed like he was cutting a WWE promo. Like y'all know, after a big-time wrestler who is a face, once he loses a big-time match and the WWE decides to turn him heel, and he has this little promo after the fact, excuse me, he has this promo after the fact, and he starts to explain why he's turning heel. It started to seem just like that with Anthony Joshua, man. My boy Anthony Joshua was holding on to that microphone like it was the last blunt in his pocket or something like that. It was, yeah, I'm looking at him like, damn, that brother's hurt for real, man. And what we saw from him was that it wasn't something that we haven't seen before. It wasn't a new thing. The brother was having a temper tantrum, right? And this is a temper tantrum that a fighter feels, or a person sometimes feels, when or experiences when their kingdom falls around them. He was embarrassed. He was upset. He was livid. And the ego causes people to lash out in ways that they could never imagine. Everybody always looked at Anthony Joshua as this very, very nice guy, this humble guy, this good guy, and all around just great guy. And now that he's made this turn, people are lashing out and they're trashing him, right? And that's why a lot of times people felt like Anthony Joshua wasn't always being his true self when he was boxing. They felt like he was putting on an act that he felt like people wanted to see instead of being his true self. And sometimes when you don't live in your absolute truth, it allows people to throw stones at you, or allows people to try to point out chinks in your armor and say, look, when you try to be too perfect is what I'm saying. They like, oh, look at him. I knew he wasn't this. I knew he wasn't that. I knew he wasn't that. And that is what seems to be happening right now, right? But, you know, I understand, what Anthony Joshua is going through, believe it or not. Anthony Joshua was once the pinnacle of the heavyweight division. When Tyson Fury was away from boxing and he was doing drugs and being an alcoholic, so on and so forth, Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder were the two champions. Deontay Wilder had the WBC belt. Anthony Joshua had the remaining belts. And a lot of people, especially the people outside of America, looked at Anthony Joshua as the true champion because they felt like he faced better competition. He had more belts. And they just felt like he was the better skilled fighter. So Anthony Joshua was the cream of the crop. And now he has since experienced a fall from his throne, right? He was dethroned against Andy Ruiz, but he redeemed himself, right? So now he was dethroned against Alexander Usyk, and he was attempting to redeem himself once again. He was confident. He was feeling that he could do it. And now that he didn't do it, he wasn't successful in trying to retain his titles. We're seeing him, he pissed about it. He's embarrassed. He's hurt. His feelings is hurt. And now he's looking like, oh my, like what the hell I'm finna do now? Because a lot of people felt like if you don't beat Alexander Usyk again, you should retire. And so now he's looking like my world is turned upside down. I'm pissed the hell off. I'm pissed at every fucking body. So I'm going on a rant. I'm snapping out. He's snapping out. He's getting into it with people in the audience as he's leaving the ring. He throws Alexander Usyk's belt out of the ring. Like he's just going on a rant of epic proportions. And again, You know, people are trashing him, but we can't act like we haven't seen this before. Some of the most esteemed boxers that people love and adore. Mike Tyson had rants that you couldn't believe. I'm talking about when he was snapping out, when he lost, when he got whooped by Evander Holyfield, and people just, a lot of Tyson fans don't even want to accept that he lost that fight. He was going off, he was going in, going on, like he was going off the Richter scale, right? But people still loved and adored him. People still, I know, of course, at the time, people were still like going off and talking about how he was disgusting, but people, a lot of people still was by his side, still riding with him because he was the champ, and he was the champ that they loved. Anthony Joshua getting looked at as a disgrace now. And I don't know if that's really, I don't know, man. I don't really think that's fair, man. When people are hurt, they experience emotions that you got to give people time to, like, you know, give them a few days. And right now, since then, Anthony Joshua's got on Twitter and he's apologized for that. He's congratulated Usyk the proper way. But he was hurt, man. His feelings was hurt. He was pissed off. Y'all remember when Zab Judah lost to Kasha Tszyu? Zab was in the ring trying to line it up with every goddamn body, including the ref. Had the ref under the neck by the glove like he about to whoop the ref's ass. You know? Like he was just that embarrassed and that hurt. I seen Anthony Joshua leaving the ring. Joshua's dad was in a little green jumpsuit, a green tracksuit, trying to grab his son's hand. His son, AJ, telling his dad, get off of me. Get off of me. Because he's just that, he's pissed. Because he felt like, man, you know, I remember when he lost to Andy Ruiz the first time and people were clowning him. And he said, since everybody think Andy Ruiz so great, I'm gonna make him bow. I'm gonna beat him. I'm gonna whoop him. I'm gonna whoop him, and I'm gonna make him bow to me. I'm gonna make him bow to me, since everybody think he's so great. And that's what I think he wanted to do in this fight with Alexander Usyk. He wanted everybody to kiss. He wanted everybody to kiss his feet and say, you know what? I am the champion. Y'all criticized me. Y'all said I wasn't shit. Y'all said I was soft. Y'all said I didn't have no dog in me, which is what he lacked in the first fight. He had a lot more dog in this fight, but it just wasn't enough. But he was missing that in the first fight for sure. For sure. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, he wanted to have that the same outcome. He wanted to become the champion again. And now that he wasn't successful, man, it was just like he was pissed. He was livid, man. You know, and him talking like that to his father let you know it was real emotion. He was really pissed. It reminded me when Diego Corrales was going out. He was about to go after his own father. You know what I mean? His stepfather, but his father, they raised him all the way through and through. About to go off on his father for throwing in the towel when he was getting outclassed by Floyd Mayweather Jr. You know, again, then we see him in the press conference. He's crying in the press conference and shedding tears because it hurt. It hurts when you put, like, when you're a gladiator and you're the top warrior and another man, he bests you twice. You like, man, what the fuck? Like, you know, that's like when Deontay Wilder was pissed off and he didn't want to shake their hands. It was just, I knew it was the pride talking, man. It's pride, it's ego. You hurt, you pissed. But I ain't gonna clown the brother, man. Like, these things happen. And especially in gladiator sports, guys lose, they are hurt, man. So get him a few days to redeem himself. You know, but I've noticed two things in the aftermath of Anthony Joshua's meltdown. I've noticed that, you know, again, people give a lot of breaks to other people. You know what I'm saying? We seen people love Mike Tyson. They excuse everything Mike Tyson do. Mike Tyson said he's going to eat people's kids and people still, oh, Mike had a right to say it. You know, they love Mike to the core. And I guess because Mike was just the god of the heavyweight division, nobody wanted to see him like that. Nobody wanted to see him lose. Nobody wanted to see a chink in Mike Tyson's armor. But what I have seen is that I'm seeing a lot of UK fans who once adored Anthony Joshua, who once adored him to pieces. I feel like they're turning on him now, right? Not because they see him as a fraud who acted like a child in defeat, but it's because they have another guy who's ruling the heavyweight division now. They got another guy to root for in Tyson Fury. So now it's to hell with AJ. Fuck him. He ain't shit because we got another guy now. We got another guy who is good. We got another hope. So to hell with AJ. AJ ain't on nothing. He's a petulant child. He's weak. He's a punk. He don't have enough heart. This, that, and the third. They trashing him. But when it was just him and Deontay Wilder at the top of the division, they was kissing his feet. They would have never said that to him. They would have never trashed AJ like that. But now they got Tyson Fury. They riding with him and they trading on him, right? And I don't care what nobody says. I told y'all all the time. Is race plays a part in a lot of different things, in everything, a lot of different aspects of life. But you can't tell me that there are people in the UK who are more comfortable, who feel more elated that Tyson Fury is ruling the division, because Tyson Fury looks like the majority population in the UK. You know what I'm saying? He looks like the majority population in the UK, so they might be riding with him more or whatever, right? But I do notice that a lot of the UK fans turning on Anthony Joshua. Hey, like he ain't shit now. Now he's the trash at the bottom of the pile because he lost. And I'm looking like, hold on, man. If it was just him and Deontay Wilder standing, y'all would have backed this man up. Y'all would have uplifted his spirits. Y'all would have crowned him king. Y'all would have still been saying he king. But now, since y'all got another prized possession in Tyson Fury, now y'all saying the hell with him. It's fuck him now. That's crazy, right? And I've also noticed that, you know, because I'm a Deontay Wilder fan to the core, but I respected that brother Anthony Joshua. I never disrespected him. I gave boxing analysis, but I never talk hate for Anthony Joshua on this channel. You would never find out on this channel me saying that I hate him at all. I'll never talk trash about him, nothing. I always gave him his credit. But I've seen that, you know, it's a lot of people who are Anthony Joshua fans who are coming to his defense. I mean, they are like acting like, you know, I can remember how they responded when Deontay Wilder said things in defeat, right? They would, man, let this have been Deontay Wilder. They would have trashed Anthony Joshua. They would have trashed Deontay Wilder to the heavens. But because Anthony Joshua, that's their guy, they ran with him. So I saw that. The fact that the discrepancy between how one person, now again, they're going to say Deontay Wilder accused somebody of cheating, so that's different, rather than just having a meltdown. But I know if Deontay Wilder would have just had a meltdown of this proportions, they would have still called him classless and so on and so forth. But you still got the fans who still riding with AJ regardless, right? And they giving him excuses for it, right? I'm not going to clown the brother, though, because I know he was hurt, man. I know it came from a place of hurt, and he'll bounce back from it, man. Still got a lot of fights left to make, but it's crazy.